Alright, this is Channel 8. Today we're going to provide for you some background on the USS Maine. First of all, it was the first naval ship that was built specifically for Maine. It had 2 artillery guns pointing north and south. It was originally meant to be a Brazilian cruiser, which was meant to strengthen the naval fleet down in Latin America. Fortunately, the way the USS Maine was built was outdated because of the use of steel it had and the kind of ways that the naval tactics had to use it in order to battle. It was overall a powerful vessel.
Thank you, Nick. Now, I'll be talking about the explosion of the USS Maine. The explosion of the USS Maine killed 260 of the almost 400 crew members. It was one of the first battleships made, and it cost about $2 million. It weighed 6,000 tons and cost the United States a lot of resources to build. When it blew up, the official report placed the cause of explosion as a mine, but they didn't put any of the blame on Spain. Although most of Congress and much of the American public believed that it was Spain. When this caused much of America to want us to go to war against Spain, and subsequently we did declare war in the Spanish-American War. The Spanish-American War was a decisive victory for the United States and didn't last very long. Within 3 months, we had officially defeated Spain and all their forces on land and sea, and an armistice halted the fighting in August. Now on to Jake with the next information.
Thank you, Max. Now on to the change in foreign policy due to the sinking of this famous American ship. The main consequence of this explosion was definitely the rise of the Spanish-American War and everything that it brought along with it. Americans stood strongly behind the Cubans during this attack, and they blamed the Spanish for everything that had happened. To inflame the situation, Remember the Maine was published, to publicize the alleged cruelties of Spanish repression. President McKinley tried to keep the situation cooled down, but was later attacked by Theodore Roosevelt, who thought otherwise. Ultimately, after the sinking of the U.S. Maine and many disputes in between, the Spanish government finally declared war on the United States on April 24th. Overall, the shift in foreign policy was that America went from a reserved and concerned republic to an active and imperial power, shifting away from isolationism.
Sir, you were on the site as the USS Maine exploded and it caught fire. Can you explain in detail what happened?
I saw the USS Maine on the way to Cuba, and I heard a big explosion. I turned around and half the ship was on fire and sinking.
Thank you.